Hi, and welcome to Breakfast with Max and friends. I'm very happy to have you here. Breakfast as breakfast, first meal of the morning, in the morning, and breakfast, the first meal after awakening. From a creator to another creator, from a God to another God, welcome. So, I hope everything is well with you and that your creation is satisfying you. But as a lot of people, um, I think you have some complaints. Well, you know with whom you should complain with yourself. Um, yeah, reality. I wanted to talk with you about reality and your creation. What is your creation? Why sometimes you say I want that and doesn't happen? I'm doing and you don't reach exactly what you wanted to do because well, you don't know why. We don't know why. We think that well, if we put all our strength into achieving something and doing something, I want to become rich, and you don't. You want a lot of money and you don't have that. Or I don't know, you want to have a promotion and you don't get the promotion. You want to go on top of Mount Everest, you never go there. Well, you never go even there. It will be there actually, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Um, if I'm not, but in physicality will be that direction, which is obviously translating by the camera the wrong way, but it doesn't matter. Uh, yeah, why doesn't it go the way you want it to go? Why is it always so hard to achieve anything? Oh, and I should be the creator of my reality, and it's not the reality I want. Well, maybe you want it a little bit too much. You're thinking about it. Yeah. You think about the reality that you want to create. And it doesn't happen, does it? Well, why? One of the reasons is that thinking is not the way you will create any reality. The thinking is the ego. The ego is not the creator. The ego is the separation that you create, the illusion of separation that you create so that you can have the experience. We already talked about it. I've already talked about it. So when it goes with the ego, well, the ego is not creating. The ego is separation. The ego is confusion on purpose. But still, the ego is not the creator acting. Because the creator, God, doesn't think, act, action, doing. That's the creator. Obviously, because the creator creates that. Look around you, all that around you. And I mean, you see behind me, I see. So that's my creation, okay? And if you look around you, or you look what you have there, it's your creation. So you are doing it. The creator that you are is creating all the moments. It's not the ego. So the creator acts, whereas the ego thinks. Yeah, thinks. Great, thinking. But thinking doesn't bring you anywhere. So in fact, what is not working in what you are doing is that you are thinking about it. You are thinking instead of doing. And when you have to create your realities, it's the moment. Obviously, there is no other thing than the moment. So you create, hey, there is, you see that? Oh, no, I can't. Yeah, so you create it in the moment. There is nothing else than the moment. There is no past, no future. There is only the moment. So you can create only in the moment. Everything else, so the memories that you have, it's the construct of your ego. The ego is what is created. The ego is created in the moment through memories. What you remember as being your past. That is not your past, is a creation in the moment. It's what you have in the moment, and you remember is that your past. But you have not lived that past because you are what you are true in the moment. And your past is the memory of the ego, but you have infinite past. There is not just one version of you, there are billions of versions of you exploring everything that there is to be explored in creation. Okay? Very difficult concept, isn't it? But that's the truth. That's how it works. Every decision, every truth, every moment that you have leads you in an infinite possibility of other moments. So that in that moment, an infinite version of you are created to explore everything else. And that is true of every moment you have ever experienced. And in the moment, the reality of you, your vibration creates your ego through the memories of what you have experienced. And even there, do you remember everything that you have ever experienced? No, you don't remember that. You maybe have 10-20% of memory of what you experienced, but you have what, 20, 30, 40 years of life, and you just remember that little? Yeah, because what? Because your memory is created in the moment. And therefore, that's your ego. Memory. The remembering of the past is just ego. You have no past. And you have no future. Not in the sense there is no hope. Now, it's in the sense that you live in the moment. You create in the moment. It should be, I understand that this is difficult because it changes completely what you have been told all your life. I understand that. I understand that it's easy to refuse this because it's not written in in the majority of books. I will say there are just a couple of books that mention these kind of things, and there are channeling, or there are videos or channelers or entities that come to us, but the majority of what you will find out there doesn't talk about these kind of things. And even those that may and even some people that may talk about these kind of things, they don't understand time because they still put everything on a timeline. Hello, if there is no time, you cannot have a timeline. We experience time, but time, obviously, as I was just saying, have you listened? Are you able to use your brain? So use it. I said, your ego is created through your memory. So your impression of having a lifetime comes from the creation of the ego. So time is the ego. Or, and here I'm going to quote Roxanne, memory is creating in the now creates time. So, time is created by your ego. So that's the memory, that's the whatever, but there is no time, there is no timeline. It's your experience. You experience it through your ego. Okay? And I'm still experiencing time. Everyone experiences time. Roxanne, with my guides, and she still experiences time. Okay? But we extract ourselves of time. We have we can see the construct of time, and we perceive the stops, when it stops, and when it starts when it starts again, and the in between. Remember, read Seth, the Seth material. It's very well expressed how vibration and how we are vibrating, and through our vibration we are not there constantly. We have the feeling that there is no interruption, but there are interruptions. Those interruptions come from our vibration. Let's say it like that. If we have to define it or to try to have an idea that we can understand, let's say like that. We vibrate and our vibration is appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing. It's not that we are not, is that this reality is vibration, so we vibrate with that, and we are and we are not, we are not, we are not, constantly. So anyway, our experience with that creates our memory, creates our ego, and we experience in that way time. And I've seen, heard people trying to say, well, time is the movement that we have through space. The movement that we have through space is what creates time. Well, it's interesting, but the fact is that I create my reality. So how can the movement that the Earth has through space can create my time? Doesn't make sense in that way, but it's a way to explain it. Okay, it's a reality that you have in explaining, but it doesn't explain your role as the creator. So you see, and the main problem with those people is that they still see a timeline. They are still saying, well, this will happen in 2024, this will happen in, or maybe between 2018 2023. Yeah, there will be ascension or this kind of, No, no, there is no time. There is no year. You cannot say when it will happen, because no time means no time. You experience a timeline through the fact that you have a memory, that you have an ego, and that's what creates your time. So, few people are able to see this, and it's important to understand that it doesn't matter, because you create your reality, so you create whatever you believe. It's fine. It's your reality. I mean, it doesn't stop you from creating. You understand? So that's okay. But back to the fact that your creation doesn't match your wish, what you want to create, what you have been thinking of creating. So as I was, I said the thinking is the ego. The ego is not the creator. So the creator is action. You create through action. God doesn't think, God creates action in the moment. There is no past, there is no future, there is only the moment. Your impression of time comes from the ego having a memory. The memory is a timeline. That's where you have this impression of time. Okay? Right. So how do you create the outcome that you want to have? I think I've been saying this. Have you paid attention? I'm trying. I've been really telling you. Through action. Be in the moment. The moment is what you have. It's all you have. Here and now. Be true in the moment. Don't think. You don't have to think about the outcome. That's not action. That's not creation. That's thinking. That's the ego. The ego doesn't create. So be true in the moment. Act. And from that, you will have an outcome. But that's your creation. You see? If you think about what you want, you're not creating it. This is the base of how you can create the reality. I'm not saying that you wish. I'm not saying that you hope. That's the ego. I'm saying act, action, true in the moment. That's how you do. And if you are true in what you do in the moment, you'll see that things will change in the sense that you will be true in your creation, not true in your thinking. It will not match your thinking. I've been saying it's the ego. The ego doesn't create. So it's essential in the understanding of the creator to make the distinction between what your ego is, or who your ego is, from what you are, the creator. It's not the same. Because the ego is your creation, whereas the ego doesn't create you. The ego doesn't know you. It can't know you because it's what? Confusion, is separation. And you are the creator, you are God. And maybe I'm repeating myself, but remember that the illusion of separation is there so that God can, for God, you're the forgotten God that has forgotten because he needs to forget in order to remember himself through experience. The moments you have creates your experience, and your experience is what allows you experience after experience after experience to go in the direction of the remembering of God, you, the creator. And remember that the idea you have of God is not correct. You see God in a certain way, but you have absolutely no idea of what a God is. And you can't. You have never learned those things. And those that pretend to know, they don't know. They base everything on something that they have been told. So what has been told to you comes from the outside, from someone else, from the outside. No, that's not where you can find the truth. I said this before, your truth, the truth is in your inside. You have to go inside of yourself. The heart chakra. Go in there and listen. Let it speak. Let it be. The outside is confusion. It's where the ego leads you. But the confusion is a necessity. If God knows that He's God, how can God make any experience? And if God knows He's God, you are of no use to God. You exist because God needs you to remember. You are His path into remembrance, remembering, rediscovering. And once you rediscover yourself, you remember you as a creator, as God. Once you are there, it's a whole new experience. But that comes through acceptance, accepting yourself as a God. And not listening to the ego that says otherwise. Because the ego will never accept such a statement, such a truth, such a thing that doesn't put the ego at the center of everything. It's not good or wrong. It has its function. Or it wouldn't have been created. You wouldn't create your ego if your ego didn't have a function. Obviously, you're the creator. But then there is the concept of saying that, well, that's true. So you really are. And it can't be in any other way. You are amazing. You are beautiful. You are absolutely fantastic. Why do you believe otherwise? Why do you accept any truth that is not your truth? Beauty, too fat, too big, too small. Forget it. That's what comes from the outside. That's when you accept to be defined from the outside. No one can decide what you are. No one. You have complete control over your domain. Absolutely complete control. You are master mistress of your universe, of your country, of your house, of your whatever you want to call it. You are master. No one. No one else is. You are. So why you let anyone else define yourself? Why do you allow anyone to tell you what you should do, what you have to do, how you have to do it? No. You decide. You are your master, mistress. No one else. Ever, ever, ever. Well, obviously that means that everything that have led you to believe that that's not the fact, the reality of when you act not in accordance with that, it's just you created that reality as an experience for yourself. So that's it's nothing wrong. It's your experience. It's what you create. So you created that on purpose. But once you realize that you are the creator, you are God, you are your own master, mistress, your own path, your own everything, your wall. Well, once you realize that, you have to take charge of yourself. And you have to go in that direction. You cannot go in any other direction. That's your reality now. You are God, and God knows where to go, where to create, in now, in the moment, in the vibration that you have. And God will guide you, will bring you there. And you bringing you there because you are whom? You are what? You're creator. So you yeah. But that's the point. That brings me back to what I was saying. God is action. Doesn't think. So that comes with it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to whatever. You go with God, with yourself, where you have to go. And you know that is the right direction, because you know that your whole self will lead you always there in the moment where you have to be. And you also know that you are in all the moment you have to be, because you have an infinite version of yourself experiencing everything there is to be experienced, that needs to be experienced. So everything is all right. So it's, in the end of the day, what I'm saying, and or in the end of the moment, what I am saying is that in order to create what you need to be created, or what there is to be created, you just have to have full confidence in your creator, in the creator, in you, that is happening in the moment. It's exactly what has to happen. And once you are awakened, you have to recognize that. You have to recognize that. There is no other way. It's the way of the Creator. It's the way of God. It's your way. And that's the truth. In the moment, in every moment, you're the Creator. And your creation is amazing, because you create it. And even if your ego cannot think, cannot understand in this thinking of what is happening, and doesn't understand why you have to wait, you're not waiting, you are acting. So that what you are doing is creating. Let the thinking to the ego, it's fine. Let the creation to God. I think that's the best way to put it. So your creation will come there where in the moment you have to be. And remember, time doesn't exist, so it means that everything is happening at the same time, at the same moment, all over the universe, which means that the outcome of your life is already happening. It's not in the memory of your ego, though, because your ego is what? Memory. It's creating the now. Now creates time. So for your ego, it's not time for that memory. So you cannot see the outcome, because the outcome is in time for your ego. Does it make sense? I think so. So, the moment has come for me to say goodbye. And I really hope that I've been able to convey to you an idea of creation. Knowing that through vibration, light attracts light, so that whatever I've said, you will have your way with it, your vibration. You will hear what you need to hear. But that's something that I will keep for another time, for another episode, for another moment. And at this point, I will just leave you. I will say thank you for co-creating this moment with me, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you, and I salute you in the light of the one Creator. Bye-bye.